Hey guys, hello there. Today from a little bit of a different background. I'm right now in one of the co-working spaces, which I didn't even think exists in the tiny little village of Delitzsch or city of Delitzsch. I think if I turn like this way around, you probably up there should see the logo of the city. In any way, Sarah sent us a question, and Sarah, this should be an answer for you as well. You said you want to start with sourcing. You want to start sourcing, for example, most likely in China, and it's an electronic product, which isn't too difficult. It sounds like I didn't see it yet, but it sounds like quite common as well. I'm of course not going to name the product what it is, but let it be. For example, it would be something like remotely related to somewhat maybe of a remote. Now, the thing here is, Sarah, you're asking where to source, what to do, where to look. I mean, one of the first things when you do this for the very first time, my suggestion is go, for example, to Alibaba.com. I mean, because that sounds like a product most likely coming from China, not necessarily from the rest of the world. And there you could find tons of those manufacturers. You would type in the keyword that you're looking for. Again, I'm not going to say this here right now because, of course, your product idea should be protected. And if there's a lot of competition out there, you know why. Yet on the other hand, you may of course also sell this on other marketplaces where there's maybe not so much competition. Maybe a small hint, hack to say on outside of Amazon, very often you can also sell it for a bit more money and don't really have much competition there on your own web shop. Now, at the same time, you could go to Alibaba, you could go to Yaoliobaba, 1688.com. That's then the Chinese version of it, also the internally in Chinese used one platform. You could also, for example, check out on Taobao, on AliExpress, maybe even on Temu. And so those products you may certainly find. And from there, you could probably go in and find manufacturers. One of the easiest way, though, definitely would be you go to Alibaba for that specific product and you start searching for those producers. You get in touch with them, and then you look around. Of course, you see about the prices. You will negotiate about the MOQs or the FOQs, the first order quantities. I wonder when this word actually will become mainstream, because everybody's usually only talking about an MOQ, a minimum order quantity, but we're talking here about the first order quantity, which, in any way. Then you would go look around and, of course, compare all the offers. How many should you get? A basic sourcing very, very often is done that people get 2 or 3 proposals, maybe 4. But this is what I usually say is a sourcing for beginners. You don't necessarily want to do that if you have the belief that your product is going to be selling well. Sure, you could start out with this on your own with a little bit, but you probably heard the phrase, the real money is made in purchasing, not in sales. And that is true. Why? Because just imagine you sell the product for the same price, but you can buy it cheaper. This is where the margin is at. So what I would suggest you, or the way how we go about when looking into China, we usually target to find about 30 potential producers, find out if they really do it, get in touch with every single one of them, get the quotations, compare the products, look at the details, check if the quantity, the quality and everything of that product looks okay. And then whether they can send you some pictures, some videos, whether they are a trading company. A simple thing maybe, you call them up and you tell them like, you know what, guys, hey, are you right now in the factory? Yes, you are. And you're not in the office, you're in the factory. Yes? Okay, fine. Can you do me a favor? Turn on your camera. I want to see the production right now. Can you leave me over there? And then you say, no, sorry, I'm in the office. A bad understanding. Haha. Whatever. And this could be one of the ways for finding out, is it a trading company? Or you look, for example, into the registration of the company and see whether it's a trading company. Because if they do that product and some, whatever, baby clothing and some shelves and some plastic and all different kinds of material and products, and you may very likely see, all right, they're representing some companies. They are selling those products. They're a trading company. Now, this just as a quick one, get in touch with them. You may use the Chinese Weixin or WeChat as well to start communicating with them. Many of the Chinese by now would also come to you and work and start working with you, for example, over WhatsApp, because they understood that this is what we use in the Western world. Not necessarily a WeChat, but you can, of course, use anything of that. And just start looking. And now here comes as a next hint, when you've decided, maybe you've gone through all of those 30 potential producers, and you'll see that is quite some effort. It's I don't suggest anybody else to do it, please, for the very first, maybe even first 2-3 times, to go through and see the whole practice and understand the process on your own. But then you'd be looking into samples. The samples, don't be shocked. Sometimes the shipping cost may seem high, $20, $30, $40 if this is your first product. The sample costs itself may be higher because, of course, they don't want to just ship, single units and not make any money. So because there's also a lot of buyers who may trick the producers or try to trick the producers to get stuff for free. At the same time, they have effort and they want to be paid for it, and not just, for one unit, of course. And the potential of you coming back is not always 100%. When you get the samples, you check them, check the quality and everything. Hint, tip, with this product as well, since it's electronics, you may have a bit more work to do in terms of finding out what certificates, what guidelines you need, what information, what reports, test lab results, etc. you may need to get in order to sell that product safely on the market without your competitors, asking for those documents and then suing the heck out of you because you don't have it. Or maybe even worse, you buy everything, you bring it over, and at the customs at the border, they will stop you and ask you for those documents. And if you don't have them, then there may be still time, to quickly get them. And or on the other hand, the products may be destroyed. That can happen, of course, as well. But again, those are steps you'll learn along the way, I have no doubt. And once you get the sample, once you get the product, and once you look into turning into mass production, one of the things basic thing you should do is, make a down payment. Don't make 100% upfront payment. Why? Because when they produce and it's not the way you want it to be and you've paid 100%, what negotiation level do you still have there so that they would actually be willing to adjust the product? So it could be a 50-50, 50% down, 50% after production, 30% down, 70, 20, 80. Those could be very often quite the common ones to do in the beginning. What I'd suggest, if you're over there, fantastic, go visit the factory, do the quality control on your own, or have a quality control company, for example, of course, like us. Go there into the factory, check the products, look how the quality is, see if they pass, and only then make the final payment, or in later terms, we'll, of course, negotiate some better payment conditions. And then the next step would, of course, be to ship the stuff over there. And also for that, you may find a logistics company. The logistics company also there, it is super worth comparing the prices all the time. Just today, I had a chat with a buddy, and he said he's getting a container for 2,850 or 4,200. That's quite a gap. And he just did this, with checking with 3 or 4 of his logistics companies. So I hope this helps you a little bit, and I hope this is for the other ones who watch this now on the webpage as a basic step, some ideas, some information of how can you get started with sourcing. It's not that difficult. Go through it, do it on your own once or twice or 3 times, and then you will learn and understand, hey, this is a process that is taking a lot of time. I should probably be focusing on sales and marketing of my products for revenue generating activities and outsource the stuff that I know how to do, but they're really not worth my time or your time in this case, of course. I hope this helps a little bit. Best regards from Germany. That was Sebastian. Little city again, of called Delitzsch. Strange spelling, but I'm back in my hometown where I grew up today for, well, whatever, surprising circumstances. And found a co-working space here and hope this little video helps you forward.